Maybe listen to him speak, yeah. No matter what, just let it go.
All right, and we are back. I had to take a little bit of a break. Let's get into this. Remember, guys, I'm just doing the best that I can to let you all know that you are heard and you are read. Well, you're not read. I meant to say your messages are read. No, you're right. I'd be like, oh, actually, I'm not read at all. Unless you're Dana White. But I'm doing my best to give back, to give you my time, to read your comments. I may be doing a good job. I may not be doing a good job. I don't know, but I'm trying. And I want you all to know that you deserve this. Your time is important in this life. You deserve this time. This is not Perswayable being nice. This is not Perswayable being kind. This is me being a human interacting with other humans. This is what's expected. I'm kind of glad that I don't have like 1 million viewers and followers, because there's no way I could have done this. But all right, let's keep going. Glaucus. To be honest, I'm not taking good care of myself because I'm too lazy to actually do it. Before quarantine, I had friends that motivated me to smoke less and eat regularly, and now I just smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, hoping that cancer will take me earlier than coronavirus, and eat like once in 2 days or sometimes once a day. You know, I don't feel isolated as much as I just feel like I myself am capable of taking care of my life and my health. Any other parts of my life haven't changed because of quarantine, because I've always been sitting home 24/7. So I guess the only downside of it is that my health is going wild. Well, that takes an incredible amount of courage to talk about. That takes an incredible amount of bravery to be able to go out there and just pour your heart out. It really does. You know, all stuff aside, right? We'll talk about that stuff. I'm not trying to be positive. Not trying to be influential. I'm not telling you to sniff essential oils like cocaine and it'll bring you happiness, all right? Get rid of that voodoo stuff. I want you to know objectively, realistically, that what you just did was incredible. You may not agree, but that's fine. But I can tell you, not only as a person, how, like, as a clinician, how many people have not the slightest insight of these behaviors. And I know you're just somebody over the internet. That's how some people would perceive that as. You're just some dude or woman on the internet, right? No. You may be communicating to me through the internet. That's just a communication device. You're still a person. You know, whether you and I were at the bar having a beer talking about this, or whether you were sitting on the opposite side of a couch than me, or whether I was trying to rehabilitate you in a skilled nursing facility, or whether I'm a YouTuber reading comments on YouTube, you're still somebody that I take seriously, that I care about. And for you to lay it all out is so incredible. There's a good chance I'm not going to convince you. That's totally cool. It's I don't really like advice too much. Suggestions is different from advice. But for you to just lay it out like that, man, I wish a lot of people had that skill. I'm not, again, I don't need to try to fix your life and make you this happy-go-lucky person like everybody, wants to be or expects to be. That's not my job. And I know you don't expect that out of me. But what you just did was remarkable. I mean that. And it's a strength that I don't even know if you know you have. And if you do, great. If you don't, you do. You do now, because I told you. That is remarkable. Good for you. Anyways, in regards to your habit, okay? It seems like you know you're not taking good care of yourself, and it seems like even though you're too lazy to fix those things, it's still important to you that ultimately you want to take care of yourself, and that is also important. Your behaviors, your routine may make you feel powerless because you're smoking a lot, you're skipping meals, but at the end of the day, you still know that you do want to take care of yourself. Now, your actions and what you call laziness have prevented you from doing it. But that remarkable ability for you to understand that at the end of the day, even with good friends, you do want to take care of yourself. Because you just said that other people motivated you. Your friends helped you. That's fine. You had help. We all need help. I need help. Dariel takes better care of me than what I take care of myself. Let that be known. Dariel takes better care of me than what I can take care of myself. And my job is to focus on me taking the best care of myself as possible. And so I do a better job now. She helps motivate me, right? Dario is such a loving and caring person. Because at the end of the day, I do want to take care of myself. There's just some things that I don't do as well as what she helps me do. So I understand you. I understand where you're coming from. I mean that. That's why I just disclosed that information. You know, it's funny. Some healthcare professionals say you should never do self-disclosure. It's such a political debate within the medical field. Never self-disclose because it can lead you to trouble. It's totally true. It can lead you to trouble, but I don't give a damn. I will always self-disclose. Because between two people, that's what they do. They interact. And sometimes within the medical field, we have to act like we know more, better than you. It's so stupid. Medical field is great. There's a lot of good things. I don't think we need to demonize the medical field. There's too many people that do that, like the anti-vaccination moms or dads. I disagree with that, by the way. I'm going to try this canned tea. I hope the canned tea is okay. Usually I like to brew my own hot water with tea and all that stuff, but we're going to try this iced tea stuff. Back onto you. All right? At the end of the day, you still want to take care of yourself. And you shouldn't measure whether you want to take care of yourself by whether you actually do physically. Right? Plenty of people want to take care of them. There's like, as an example, there's plenty of people who want to quit alcohol. They just physically can't, and they need help. So just because you physically can't quit alcohol doesn't mean that you don't want to. It sounds like you want to take care of yourself, and that's good. That's a good thing. Granted, the smoking the two packs of cigarette a day is awful. It's not good for you. So I'm going to be reasonable with you. I'm going to tell you, there's things in here that isn't all peachy. Isn't all happy. You're not eating. That's not good. You need to eat. You need to get that nutrition in. Smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day is not good. Right? So we don't need to lie to you. And you don't want to be lied to. If I lied to you, it sounds like you wouldn't trust me. So lying to you is not going to work. If I'm not genuine with you, you're not going to like that. You want genuineness. You want the reality of things. The reality of things is that you do want to take care of yourself based on your message. And I think that eventually you're going to win this battle because of that. And that is in your power. That is in your power and control. Even if you smoke 2 packs a day, etc., ultimately the power is there. It's just up to you in your journey and finding it. The power is there. You have that power, but it may be difficult. And if you feel powerless, then you got to figure out why and what you can do to overcome that powerless feeling. Reach out. Talk to your medical provider. Talk to your family. There's a lot of different things that you can do there. But that power is there. And I hope you find it because you deserve that. You deserve it. You really do. Even if the quarantine and all that stuff hasn't changed too much of your life as you indicate, and I know you don't feel isolated, but you do feel like you're not having that ability to take care of yourself. So you got to ask yourself what has changed. Because within this, you feel like the social interaction has affected you, but it hasn't. Because you said that you had friends that would motivate you to smoke less and eat regularly, right? But then you don't feel isolated. So it's like this paradox, if you will, where on one hand, you say social isolation isn't really affecting you, but then you admit that your friends did help motivate you and help. And that's perfectly fine, by the way. I like I said, I do better when Darielle motivates me, all right? And so I look at that, and I also don't want to be over-reliant on her. I'm like, all right, I got to do things on my end, too. And I've done that. I've done that over the past year. I'm significantly happier at this stage in our relationship than in the beginning. And I'm not talking about my relationship with Dari. My relationship with Dari, I still have the butterflies over a year later. You know, and that's been a journey in itself. But there are things that I've been able to do to better take care of myself since I've been with Darielle than from a year ago. So it's good to rely on others and have a good support system, and it's also good for self-growth. You can have both. And so it sounds like at one point you're talking about your friends helping you, but then at another point you're saying, well, you don't really feel as isolated. So then my question to you, and especially since you say that your life hasn't really changed too much from the quarantine, especially sitting at home 24/7, all right, is that your health has gone wild. So the question is why? I don't know why. I don't have the answer. I'm not going to pretend like I know why. I don't know. I don't have enough information. But it sounds like this quarantine, the one thing that I do know is that the pandemic has affected you in the sense that your ability to take care of yourself has diminished. So the question is why? And only you can figure that out. And when you gain that insight as to why, you can try to improve that judgment. But the one thing I'm not going to allow you to disagree with me on, all that stuff you can disagree with, that's fine, is that how remarkable you are for being able to pour your heart out like that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. There's a lot of health experts right now who are worried. I know as an occupational therapist, you know what I'm worried about. When we lack leisure skills, we're more likely to drink and do drugs. We're more likely to have destructive behaviors because we don't know what to do with our time, right? A lot of people who smoke, a lot of people who drink, actually, if you think about it, they do it because they don't have great leisure skills. Oh, let's go out and get fucked up. Let's have a bunch of friends. Like, to you, it's your leisure time. You can do whatever you want. So you go with friends and you start drinking and you have fun. And it's this great experience because you don't know how to have fun without alcohol. Now, the DSM-5 says that you can have, if you're a male, 2 beers a day, a female, 1 beer a day. Don't get mad at me. That's just what it says. Might be other stipulations in there. But you go and do it as a social thing, and then that social thing leads to a habit and a routine, and it becomes sort of this habitual process, and next thing you know, that social behavior, that once in a while drinking or smoking, in your case smoking, becomes more of this, well, this is ingrained in my everyday behavior now, and then unfortunately it leads to dependence, and next thing you know, oh, I can't go to work unless I'm taking a shot. I can't go to work unless I'm taking shots in between my lunch break, right? So it starts off one way and it leads to a dependent. But the one thing I don't want you to argue me on here is the courage that you had to tell me about this. It's remarkable. Opening up like that, confronting those demons is a lot more difficult than you think it is. Okay? I hope that you're able to figure out how this has affected your ability to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you are not eating and you're smoking more. Even if the pandemic hasn't affected your social life and how you perceive it, it's affected you in some sort of way, and I hope that you can identify that. Glaucos, thank you so much. Or Glaucos, I'm probably saying that wrong. But thank you for sharing that, and I want you to know I am rooting for you. I mean that. I'm rooting for you. Dragon Island, my family's been doing fine, still got homework to do, and signed up for a nutrition class. I got to take care of my diet more. Yeah, dietitians are great. Dietitians are so knowledgeable about I know you're talking about a nutrition class, but dietitians in general, if you ever get to work with one, they're great. I've never had one, but I work with them. Such great, remarkable people in terms of what they do for the patients. But hey, I'm glad that you're doing fine. I'm glad that your family's doing fine. Keep going for it. Keep taking good care of yourself. Pickle Rick. I like that name. I'm fine. Thanks for asking, brother. Hope you're okay. I'm okay because you asked me, Pickle Rick. Thank you very much. Keep doing great things. Peachy. Yes, been laid off work, so I've been playing Identity 5 during quarantine. Hope you're taking good care of yourself. Don't worry. Even I'm not going to have work after this contract on April 10th. So I'll be on quarantine, and I'll probably be playing a lot of Dead by Daylight Mobile and making some YouTube videos and doing a better job with my YouTube because I have a lot of supporters, and I've been really lazy with YouTube, and I'm going to take it more seriously. So thank you, Peachy. Thank you very much, and best of luck to you, okay? JP, I'm legit balding because my thesis is due next week, but I'm drinking a lot of green tea. Cheers, my friend. So when I had to submit my research, you know, one of the things that I don't have one of those like Apple Watches or whatever, because I don't want to look at my heartbeat throughout the day. Just because of my personality. You guys know how I am on YouTube. And I know for a fact, like, I'd just be looking, I'd get fired up when they're like, oh yeah, we don't want, you know, people wearing masks inside the building. My heart rate probably went to 150. I'd be like, what'd you just say? It didn't really go to 150. By the way, the average heart rate on average is 60 to 100 beats per minute. Another side fact, the average temperature of your body is not 98.6. That's based on research from like 150 years ago. So if your body temperature is in the 97s, that's actually more relative to a normal body temperature within the 97s, which is important because if you're running a 99 and your average is 97, then you should be a little bit more worried than under the presumption that your body temperature is 98.6 and it's only a few higher in the 99s. No, that could be a really good sign that the new 100 should be in the 99s for some people who run low temperatures. I know my average can be anywhere from 96.9 to 97.8. So anyways, I digress. How do I go on these rambles and these rants? I do it anyways. So with my thesis, I'm glad that I shouldn't say thesis, but my research, I'm glad that I didn't have like any of it, because my heart rate would have went through the roof. That's a very worrisome time, JP. It really is. I understand what you're going through to a degree, because, you know, anytime you go through a master's program or graduate school, we don't all have the same programs. We can't 100% understand what that other person is going through, because your program ultimately was different from mine. But it's kind of, you kind of understand, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like being in a bad relationship. And not all bad relationships are the same, but if you say I've been in a bad relationship, you know, we don't got to compare and contrast which relationship was worse, but all you got to say is I've been in a bad relationship. Somebody's like, oh shit, dude, I'm sorry. And with your thesis, all I'm going to say is, you know, hang in there. Keep doing the best that you can. You probably be balding whether the coronavirus was here or not. It's a tough time, but embrace it. Embrace that learning curve. And, you know, there's been a lot of people who've been able to pass those theses before you. There's no way that every single person in this world that has passed the thesis is smarter than you. No way. So you got this. You got this, baby. Hang in there. And thank you for commenting. Anime Pro, no dude, IDV is giving me a lot of cancer. So, God, I hate those cancer comments are so. That's just because I'm in the healthcare field now. You know, before that I'd be like, oh yeah, this is cancer. And now like I'm in the health field and I don't use that. But Identity 5 has definitely changed over time. The community is a lot more toxic than what it used to be. It is what it is. Take care of yourself, Anime Pro. Spencer Sells. I'm doing fine, going out to work just about every day. Nothing at all that bad, but people who can't cook have to eat somewhere. It's great to come home from a busy day and relax and try to learn from Perswayable videos since I can't since I can finally play Identity 5 again. Yeah, a lot of my videos have been from a long time ago with a whole different meta, so you just remember that. But it's good that you're able to have a little bit of time off and that you have a little bit more time to do the things that are enjoyable to you. Thank you for watching my videos. I mean that. Very kind of you. And just remember your time is important and how you spend that time is important. And I thank you that you spend a little bit of that time every day with me. Tommy, a tad bit anxious, but I hope we're all fine after this quarantine. And Tommy, you remember that anxiousness is fine. It makes sense. As long as we make sure it doesn't go too high to the point where it affects our ability to function. And in your case, it doesn't sound like that's the issue. And I like how you say, I hope that we're all fine after this quarantine. It really shows that you as a person, you're worried about a lot of people. And that's good. I like that. I like that you care that much. People sometimes are like, oh, don't worry about everybody. You got to worry about yourself. Although it's important to worry about yourself, hopefully you have the energy and the mental and physical capability of worrying about other people too. We are social creatures, and having that connection with other people is very important to your overall health and your mental stability and your spiritual self as well. Regardless of your philosophical or religious beliefs, your spiritual self is still important to you. In fact, believing that there's nothing that exists afterwards there's still a spiritual component to that, in my humble opinion. So regardless of any of that, thank you very much for commenting, and I hope everybody is fine as well. I do, and you're doing a great job. Emil613H, doing well. I'm binge watching your videos to ease my boredom. Stay healthy. I'm sorry that you watch me. Just kidding, because I can give and accept compliments. So thank you very, very much. Hopefully, I have more consistency. Ideally, one day I'll like to have videos come out every single day. And this quarantine time is going to give me a lot of time to YouTube and the stuff that I've envisioned. So I'm excited for that. And I hope that you continue doing well. I mean that. Thank you very, very much for responding. Dark Zero, I have been taking good care of myself and my people too. I hope you're doing well. Hey, you take care of your people, I take care of my people, and then when the quarantine is done, my people, we go and we talk to your people, and we come to an understanding. That's that's how people on the Italian speak on the East Coast, and I would know because my family's Italian. And it's funny, everyone's like, oh, you look Muslim, or you look from your Middle East, or then other people will say, I know I don't right now because I look super probably white, but and then because I am. And yeah, people are like, oh, are you? It's funny, Dariel and I hear this all the time. They're like, where is he from? Is he from like the Middle East, or is he from Spain, or is he, which is not the Middle East, by the way. We just get all over the place. We're like, yo, is he Greek? All these different things. I am Italian and Swedish, by the way. But anyways, again, me talking about myself. Sorry. Dark Zero, I'm glad that you're taking care of yourself. I'm glad that you're taking care of your family as well. I am doing great. I'm hanging in there. And I hope that you're doing great as well. Rackney, I'm fine and hope that you all stay healthy. Again, glad that you're looking at everybody else too. You have that energy where you're good, and you have the emotional ability to worry about others. Not everybody does, and that's okay, right? It's important that we focus on ourselves at times. But I'm glad that you're sending that positive vibes for all those. For some people, that's a big difference. It's not going to be a big difference for everybody, and that's okay. Let's not convince them that it's supposed to be meaningful to them. If they're like, hey, that doesn't affect me, that's fine, that's cool. But for some people, when they see something like that, that can genuinely make them a little bit happier. If you pay attention to just how I was on this feed, I was kind of like getting into that conversation like I am now, like really soft spoken, and then my whole energy just kind of perked up a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I got excited. You actually just saw a clinical purpose. You just saw how being a little positive can really affect something. You don't gotta be over positive. You don't gotta be flowery rainbows and butterflies all the time. I'm grumpy until I drink my coffee. Totally cool, but I'm still a positive person. All right, positivity is not passivity. It's not being passive. It's not allowing people to walk all over you. It's not about sniffing trees and thinking you're always happy. Positive is at the end of the day, you manage and you hope everyone else is doing okay. And that was a great comment. And I mean that. That goes for Dark Zero and Arachne, by the way. Let's get to Molly. No, I should have been studying right now instead of being on YouTube. That is very true. You should be studying. Get back to studying. Yeah, you're allowed to take some breaks though once in a while. My study routine all throughout grad school was I'll study for 25 minutes and then I'll take like a 3 to 5 minute break interval. I passed college. Worked for me. Might work for you guys. I don't know. We all have our own routines and rituals. Thank you, Molly. Flops. Yes. Smiley face. I just burped. I'm burping a lot. I'm trying to drink. Like as much fluids as I can. I did a really bad day earlier. I did really bad earlier in the day. I didn't drink enough fluids. And last night I got a lot of sleep last night, but the night before I got like an hour of sleep. I sleep on an air mattress because I'm a traveling contractor, and it popped. So flops. Thank you. Yes. Nice, short, and concise. Andrew Tofik. Nope, I need motivation. Well, Andrew, that is up to you to find. You have the power to find that motivation. It's good that you know what you want. My recommendation, just shooting from the hip. I don't get to talk to you, so shooting from the hip. If you need motivation, ask yourself what has motivated you before the coronavirus and what the difference is between then and now, and make that adjustment. Usually, by reference, it's usually structure. A lot of people do well with structure. Even if you don't like going to school or going to work, it made you get up and do something. So if that's the case, go from there. Motivation. Ask yourself, is my schedule, my routine, am I doing the things that I need to do to take care of myself? Shooting from that may not apply to you, but just know that I tried. Dylan D, doing good. Hope you staying safe, man. Can't wait for more DBD Mobile. Definitely, Dylan. Thank you, baby. I love Dead by Daylight Mobile, and we'll definitely be producing more content. But Dylan, listen, I'm glad that you're doing good, and I want you to continue doing good and make sure that you monitor it. Just because you're doing good today doesn't mean you're doing good tomorrow. So whatever you're doing, identify that and continue doing it, okay? Thank you. Mackenzie. I've been good. My best friend since I was 7. I'm 16 now. Moved to Texas 2 years ago, and I live in Oregon. I said Oregon. I said Oregon because of Pokemon Go, Porygon. All right, anyways. She's coming home tomorrow, and it makes me really happy. She isn't flying, which is good, but I'm still worried about her traveling. But overall, I'm really happy. You know, Mackenzie, before I actually address you, I want everybody to know less than 10% of my, about 10% actually, about 10% of my audience is under the age of 18. That's provided to me through YouTube. So when everyone's like, oh, why do you have all these provocative jokes and all that stuff? Actually, the data suggests that I have a very tiny population that is actually under the age of 18. And of course, there's flaws with that methodology, but that's fine. Mackenzie, it sounds like your friend has a great friend. I have friends in my personal life who care about me just like you care about your friend. And I want you to know, and I do know that throughout this series I've been talking a lot about myself. However, you know, remember, I am not your clinician or your therapist. I am a YouTuber, and a lot of people want to know more information about me. So how I'm talking to you guys is a little different from how I would be talking to you if you were a patient. And I don't want to treat you as such because that's not our relationship and that's not my role in your life. All right, me and you are equals, so I talk about myself just like you talk about yourself. I hope that's okay with the audience, all right? And sometimes I do that to relate to you, and sometimes that will work, and for other people it will not. And if it does not, that's okay. It just means that you're looking for a style that differs from my own, and you're allowed to, okay? But what I can tell you is that I know I feel loved and appreciated by people who would probably talk about me, Mackenzie, in the way that you're talking about your friend. I'm very, very happy that you're about to see your friend. I'm very, very happy that this excites you. I'm glad also that they're not flying, because it can reduce that whole coronavirus thing going on. All right. So I hope that you and your friend really enjoy their time together. To Mackenzie's friend, if she does show you this video and tells you what time to go into the YouTube video to see this message, you're a very lucky person. Hold on to that. I promise you. Through thick and thin. Confused Chan. Yep, I am good, thanks. Don't worry. The more important question is, how are you? I am good. I really am. I'm tired as fuck, but I'm good. Just Monica. I'm doing great. Felt a slight itch on my throat and cough because of it, but I think it's just a normal thing though. Anyways, being Rapunzel is amazing. When a stranger came in my house, I'll slam them with my frying pan. I'm getting old, yo. I have no idea what that means. I don't think I've ever seen that. I'm so sorry, but listen, keep taking good care of yourself, and if you feel like you have any of them COVID problems, you let your family and your doctor know, etc. But it sounds like you got it all underway, and keep doing your thing. You're adapting, you're hanging in there. Rue Brown. I live with my grandparents, so I'm the one leaving the house to get food. We're doing good so far. First of all, Rue Brown, absolutely amazing that you're helping your grandparents. Good for you. A lot of people wouldn't even do that. And if you think I'm like making you feel better about your life, I'm not. Plenty of people who don't give a damn about their grandparents. And so I'm glad that you do. In fact, one of my tattoos on my bicep, yeah, right, Perswayable, talking about himself again. What a little prick. Is actually dedicated to my grandfather. We used to call him Pap. So I just told everybody I'm Italian. I'm also Swedish. So I'm mostly Italian and Swedish. Pretty much right down the line. And so I call him Pap. So I got him tattooed on my arm. So I absolutely adore. He was really the only grandfather that I had a close relationship to. Unfortunately, my grandmother had something that we call a hemorrhagic stroke. She had a hemorrhagic stroke, and 85% of the people who have hemorrhagic strokes pass away. And when we turned off life support on her, she survived. And so she didn't have any ability to move any body part at all. She could only move her eyes, literally. So that's what you guys know as a vegetable. She couldn't move or anything. She spent like that for 10 years. So I didn't have a relationship with her at all. I didn't really know her. And my, other side of the family, just a whole bunch of bad blood. So I didn't know the people on the other side of the family. Rightfully, that's a good thing. So the only grandfather that I really, only grandparent that I knew was one of them. And so he was everything to me. Oh, he was everything to me. So I'm so glad that you have a relationship with your grandparents. And I'm so glad that they are in your life. I hope it's a positive experience. And keep doing a great job. And I personally thank you for taking good care of them. They're very, very lucky to have you, and I hope you're aware of that. But thank you for sharing your comment, Rue. I appreciate that. Parola Negra. I'm trying to take care of my health and my family and friends without losing my mind. I wish for all of us strength to keep going. So, Parola Negra. I'm trying to take care of my health and my family and friends without losing my mind. I wish for all of us strength to keep going. First of all, Parola, we all appreciate that. And we appreciate you, and we hope that you have strength to continue going as well. And right now, it's a very taxing time. It's a very stressful time. And, if you can get through this without losing your mind, it should be considered, honestly, it should be considered like an accomplishment. You play Xbox, I feel like it should be an Xbox achievement. But keep doing a good job for your own health and your family, and thank you for wishing us all the strength to keep going. That is appreciated, and I mean it. Thank you very much for that. Little Circuit. Not really. I'm making zero money and filing for unemployment. It is so confusing and frustrating. And my coworkers were like, oh, you go here and here. But it just led me in a circle. laughing my ass off. Playing Identity 5 and talking with my friends on Discord are keeping me distracted, kinda. Well, I know what that is like. To get frustrated by something and then just go to something else and forget about it so I could become distracted. But make sure you don't procrastinate, right? I know when I get easily frustrated, I just kind of want to leave it and not deal with it. And then sometimes when I go over here, I never come back to it. So it's important that you kind of get redirected. But I can understand talking to family, which is really good. Playing Identity 5. I'm glad that you're having a great time with the game, all right? But I do know what is... or rather, I will know what it's like this Friday to make no money, to have no contract in my job. I have to file for unemployment as well because my contract's getting canceled on me. So I understand the anxiety, and and you know what? I know it's going to be such a pain in the ass trying to get back to that unemployment website and trying to figure it all out. It's going to frustrate me. So I know that what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a priority Saturday morning. That is the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to wake up, I'll eat breakfast, take a shower, brush my teeth, do all that stuff, mouthwash. I should probably floss more, I'm not going to lie. But then that's my first job, unemployment. So I get it. You got a lot going on. And we get it. You're not alone. We got it. And you're allowed to be annoyed by it and frustrated by it. I'm glad, again, that you have found things that have made you happy. Kinda, right? In your words. Hey, thank you so much for commenting. Billy Eyelash. I'm trying to. I've been getting a lot of homework lately, so I don't have too much time on my hands. But when I'm able to, I work out and play with my doggy. Oh, I hope you have a cute dog. There was a part of me that wanted to adopt a cat. Here we go, talking about myself again, right? This video was supposed to be talking about you guys, and then everything I don't know, I just try to relate to you all. But I kind of want to go to a shelter. I know I'm busy a lot and stuff, like when I'm at work 8 hours a day. And I do travel, but usually I only travel like once every 3 months at most. So I was like thinking, what would be better, a cat with me or a cat in a shelter? And at least it's better than nothing. So I was thinking about, I kind of want a cat, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, I'm jealous of you and your dog's relationship, I'm not going to lie. And I know you have a lot of homework, right? This whole adapted technique with this online schooling and everything. But I'm glad that you're trying to. And just know that you trying makes me happy. I mean that. This ain't a fake ass smile. Don't call me a liar. Makes me happy. So keep going. You got this, boo. All right. Angry Sally Kickamy. Yep. I have very weak lungs and have to be super careful. Although I'm not doing fine in quarantine, my mom is mentally unstable and has abusive tendencies. It's like putting a lion and a deer in the same room. Watching your videos is a big help to me. It provides me with the comfort of some form of company. Kinda unhealthy, but it's the most I can do. Hi, Angry Sally. Thank you for sharing that. This is a difficult time for a lot of teenagers. A lot of teenagers. Because the school system, as much shit as the school system has, it has a lot of resources that students don't always know that are there. And the school system, so there's 4 agents of socialization under sociology. And it pretty much means that the agents of socialization kind of dictate who we are. Just as an example, like the media, religion, peers, family, not peers like the fruit, but your peers, your friends. So, at a time, church was part of that. Media, these are things that influence us. These are agents of socialization, so they affect the way that we grow up and learn and become the people that we are. So that is, at one point, it was the church, right? Because the Protestants came from Europe and helped form America, and that was a big part of our democracy and a big part of our founding ways, and even that's why we have, Christian principles that are within even the Declaration of Independence and in the Constitution and things like that. So anyways, we have media, we have family, we have friends, we have school. School's actually one of them because you spend so much time there. All right. And so church, friends, family, media, school. It's pretty much like the 5 agents of socialization. And the media is kind of like, I feel like the media also extends now from a modern approach to online. And these things influence us. They influence how we grow up, how we learn, and some of them influence us more than others. Right? Not to mention also genetics, right? And things that are hereditary. Sometimes we're just biologically hardwired based on neurotransmitters and our reactions to things and our moods and things like that. So there are genetics that are a factor, but not talking about our biological selves. Those are the agents of the sociological aspects that affect how we are brought up, how we learn. As an example, you can have great friends but an awful family, and that can affect how you develop. You can have a great family but awful friends, right? Like somebody who goes and shoots up a school and their family has always been super supportive. Well, what's the question there? Is it a biological thing, or who are their friends? What media influenced them? It's not always mom and dad raised them to be a school shooter. That's just not true. Sorry. So with this explanation, we are like sponges, and how we learn and adapt and absorb information is relative to, because we are social creatures, is relative to those agents of socialization. And school can really help us. For some kids, especially if we feel like our parents have abusive tendencies, it can help us. We get away from those abusive tendencies. We now have our friends, which is another agent of socialization. We have our school teachers. We have resources that we can go to, especially if we feel like we're in a toxic environment. There's people, there's things there. Even if you don't use them, you have the comfort of knowing that they're at least there. And now we have removed that from you. Now, in general, living with people, especially for your parent, and by the way, I am not justifying their abusive behaviors. What you perceive as their abusive behaviors, I'm not even touching that. But it's also going to be stressful for them because you're not at school. So you're at home. There's a stressful component to them. Do not think that validates that self-perceived abusive behavior or abusive tendencies. So it's hard on everybody right now. It's hard, especially for you. I'm very sad to hear that you have weak lungs, and I hope that you're okay, and it's good that you're being careful. Okay? And I hope that you can find a support system. It seems like you want me to be part of that support system, and in a way I am, because you have reached out to me and I'm responding to you. And I hope that you continue reaching out to people that can continuously help you in your situation. And I'm glad that my videos, in a weird way, can be a help of, some sort of assistance with you. My videos are more of just me being obnoxious and showing you how to play video games and things like that. Once in a while, we talk about education and science and literature and things like that. But I'm glad that I can make you feel a little bit better, and I'm hoping that I'm doing an okay job now. And if I'm not, just know the intent is there. If you have found that my videos help you, that is not necessarily unhealthy. What would be unhealthy when you say kind of unhealthy? And when you say it's the most that you can do, I don't think that it's the most that you can do, Angry Sally. I think there are other things that will require that sort of adaptive thinking. You're in a situation where you're in your home a lot. You feel like you're sick. Your parent can be a little bit, have some abusive tendencies. And I'm glad that you phrased it that way. You didn't say abusive, but abusive tendencies. So I hope that you can find somebody to connect with and talk to. Because it seems like that's what you need right now. Somebody to talk to. You know, they're like, this is why I don't give advice. I could say, well, why don't you talk to your mom? And you could be like, well, I already did. You know, so that's why I don't like advice, because you throw things at people. Instead of listening to them, you start trying to fix the problem. And then if I start giving you a whole bunch of things that you already did, it's just going to frustrate you more, right? For those who are listening right now, have you ever had a problem? You've already attempted several things, and then you go to your friend and you try to talk to them, and then they start telling you to do the things that you already did, and it kind of pisses you off more. And that's why I don't like giving advice right away. Because so when a friend comes to you, you shouldn't think that they're coming to you right away. You should actually assume that they've already tried to problem solve this. You know, there are some people who will constantly need direction in life, but most of us try to problem solve things before going to somebody else. So if you come to me, I already presume that you've already tried to solve this issue. You didn't do a good job at it, or you did do a good job at it, and you still need help, and so now you need me to listen to you. So I don't assume that you've done nothing. So if I start giving you advice, I'm assuming you've done nothing. There's a difference between advice and suggestion. So I'd say, okay, have you tried to talk to your mom about it? But when I say that, I'm actually asking you a question. I'm actually asking you because I want to listen. So I'm talking a little bit, but I'm really trying to get more info out of you. So I need to know what you've already tried to do, or what you have already done to figure the situation out. And that's why I don't like giving advice. People just stop listening. They're like, all right, I've accepted the position of Yoda and I'm going to fix you. And then it becomes more about their own ego instead of you. That's why people give advice too often, and they throw shit out there that doesn't work. So unfortunately, I don't have the capability of asking you what you've already done. So my question to you is, what can you do? And only you know what you can do as of right now, because I don't. So it sounds like there's some abusive tendencies right there. The question is has it gotten worse since you being home more? Or is it the same and you just got to deal with it for a longer duration? So are the tendencies increasing, or are the tendencies the same, but you just got to deal with a little bit more of it because you're there a little bit more? Have you tried to talk to her? Is there anyone else that you can talk to in your family and open up about this and problem solve it? Have you spoken with anybody in the school system when they were there? What are abusive tendencies? What do you define that as? What are they doing? What is mentally unstable? What does she go through? Has she ever been diagnosed with anything? What about your other family? Do you have other family members? How long have you been going through this? What have you done about this in the past if this has happened before on an increased duration? Are there moments where it's worse than others? Is this the only time that it's been really bad? Has it been bad at other times? What was that like? What happened? What were the circumstances? Were you in the house more when that happened? What's going on in their life? What has changed? Do they do a good job at trying to manage those abusive tendencies, or do they have no insight in it at all? I don't know the answers to any of this. That's why you have to reach out and talk to somebody so they can help you problem solve and help you with that exploration of thoughts and feelings so you can try to identify what your options are. And sometimes giving advice, not knowing the full story, is just frustrating. Because then you can no longer talk about the issue and you have to justify that you've already tried doing those things. It distracts from the ability to problem solve. I wish that I could do a better job for you, but do know that I'm rooting for you. And that you have more control and power in this life than what you think. And I hope that you can think outside of the box and do the best that you can. Sometimes we're only capable of so much too. Right? Not everything can be resolved in this world just by thinking about it. But I hope it becomes manageable. Thank you so much, Angry Sally. I mean that. Withered. Yes, and I'm loving it. I've been needing a break from all the homework for a while. Hey, I like that humor. I hope you continue doing a good job. Thank you, Withered. Am I? I don't know. The answer is 42. I don't know how to answer that, but thank you for messaging. Sheba, I'm good, just worried. Hope you're doing well. Well, you're allowed to be worried, and I am doing very well, and I hope you're doing well as well, Sheba. And I hope that you continue being good. Thank you for messaging. Diego, yes, I am doing well, but this online schooling isn't for me. I can't focus. I feel so unmotivated. You know what? I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but we all learn differently. I'm better with structure. We talked about this. I'm better at going into classrooms. I'm better physically being present. The one class that I withdrew from so it wouldn't kill my GPA was an online math course, and I retook it in person, and I did fine. You're allowed. People learn differently. Some people are auditory learners. Some people are visual learners. So people learn differently. People study differently. And that's what's important as a clinician, is making sure that when I'm teaching my patients something, I can identify their learning method. Because if I only teach them in a way that works for me, then I'm not teaching them in a way that works for them. And if I only focus on a method that works for me, then I'm no longer caring about my patients, but instead only caring about my own ego. Don't get me wrong, there's times where I have an ego, but it's important that I put that aside for my patients. That's the most important thing. We all have an ego at various times in life. It's okay. It's part of it. It's about regulating it, making sure you don't become a narcissist and get out of line. So if you're struggling with online school, it's okay. Do the best that you can. Some people are not going to learn that way. It's a whole different thing. It's changing your environment, or what we call context. You know, context could also be relative to what you're learning, but it can also be called your environment. All of it's changed up right now. And you being unmotivated, well, that's also, one of the things that I say is there's no such thing as a bad student, but bad teachers. And I think that's also wrong, because there are great teachers, but ultimately it's up to the student to also meet you halfway. And online school makes you feel unmotivated because you don't like online school right now. Now, I'm not going to tell you to biologically hardwire re-hardwire your preferences, but do the best that you can to manage it. Do the best that you can to survive and to adapt to it. It's not that you're not unmotivated. You're not unmotivated. What it is that you are subjected to a learning style that does not benefit you. So when you feel unmotivated, you're almost internalizing that and taking all the responsibility. I'd be unmotivated. I wouldn't do a damn thing. I'd feel so unmotivated. And that's not fair to you. So what it is okay, this is the situation. This is a situation that I have to work with now. It sucks. You understand that you need to work with this situation because the situation is bigger than yourself, and you get that. You know that there's a lot going on in society right now, and you get that this is the best thing that everyone can do. But don't feel unmotivated. That's not that you're not. You can be sympathetic to societal change, but also be sympathetic to yourself as well. So if you're going to extend that olive branch to society, please extend it to yourself. Do the best that you can. You're doing great. All right, it's okay. You're not always supposed to be at 100. Okay. Thank you for commenting, Diego. Kyrie Nathan. Haha, I'm okay, just tired. Thanks for your concern. Hope you're doing great. Thank you for worrying about me as well. I'm doing wonderful. And you're allowed to be tired. Sadistic. Haha, yep, I'm doing fine. My quarantine just started today. I hope you're doing well too. My full quarantine, where I can't leave my house for 14 days, starts in like 2 days. Like no leaving at all. Because I come from that COVID-19 patient building, rather. So I'll be obligated to self-quarantine. I barely go out unless I absolutely have to the best of my ability. Novizio. Yep, just started a full home-based learning. Good luck with that, Novizio. And by the way, thank you for responding, Novizio. I promise that. I appreciate that. Quan Yu. Yes, how about you? I am doing great. Cheers. Prince of Hearts. Planning to take good care of my hair. let it grow a bit longer, and see what kind of style I can use. Also planning to lose weight. Hooray. There you go. Start now. The biggest thing that I have learned is that if I do too much planning and I try to make things perfect, nothing gets done. As an example, if you go back to my first YouTube video, I mean, it was quote unquote ghetto as fuck. It was like on webcam. I had no idea what I was doing. It was blurry. I had no idea what I was doing. And if you strive for perfection, which there's been various aspects of my YouTube career where I've tried to do that, that's when I don't come out with any videos, because I'm trying to be too perfect. I try to make everything great, make everything peachy, squeaky clean, and then I say, oh, I can't post this yet. It's not perfect. I don't have a good enough webcam. I don't have good enough audio. I don't have good enough this. And it was the biggest mistake. Just jump right into it. Jump right into it and slowly learn. So I'm glad that you're planning. There should always be a planning phase, but don't plan too much. Just jump into it. Give yourself realistic goals. That's actually an important aspect in the medical field that we probably don't talk about enough in the public sector that should be spoken about. You need to set obtainable goals. In fact, when I have a patient, if my goals are unobtainable, I'm setting my patient up for failure. So setting goals that are obtainable is good because it motivates them and we can see progress. So like, for instance, you want to lose weight. Well, you need to identify what you need to do. Does that mean physical activity? Does that mean eating? Most of the time when I ask that question, everyone's like, well, all of it. Well, great. But you're not about to change every single part of your life in one day. I mean, some people can do that. That's great. But that's not for everybody. So that's for you to figure out. So don't over plan. Jump into it. Eat healthy for one day. I mean, eat as healthy as you want just one day out of the entire week, because that's better than the week before. Set obtainable goals. They don't need to be too easy. I just kind of gave a hyperbolic example, but set a goal that's obtainable to you and start off easy and work your way up. Work your way up with that diet and that exercise if you plan on doing that. Some people, oral or nothing, if that works for you, go for that as well. But make sure your goals are obtainable for your own personality. Thank you so much, Prince of Hearts. J. Carlos, doing good. Hope things get better soon. Same here, my friend. Same here. I agree with you. All right, Heim. Thank you, by the way, J. Carlos. Heim. Well, as introvert, stay at home hashtag. Oh, I think I'm supposed to say hashtag. Oh my God, I'm so old. I'm 29. I know some of you don't think that's old, but like, it's an example. Well, as introvert, hashtag stay at home during this outbreak, really nothing but I'm not always inside house, need buy this and that. That's when mask and sanitizer needed. Sadly, the store out of stock of it. Do I go outside without mask? And when I wear a mask outside, sometimes random people will say, why wear such thing when we did or not God decide it? Hearing this pisses me off. Hi. I think it's Heim. I think I'm saying that correctly. You do what you feel is best for your overall health. Who cares what other people are saying right now? It seems like there's a religious component of that I don't wish to address. But what I'm saying is that by the message that you have provided me and using the words that you have given me, it seems that like wearing a mask to you is important, and that's okay. It should be important. Make sure that when you put your mask on, you put it on correctly. I know you don't have a mask right now. Make sure that you don't touch the outside surface. Take it off by the straps. Make sure you wash your hands after that as well. Depends on how many masks you have. Usually we would prefer you to throw it out. That's what a surgical mask should. I think there's new research that says the coronavirus can live on a surgical mask for up to 7 days. So that's one of the reasons why some health professionals said not to use them, because they're worried that it can contaminate you more. But there is definitely a stigma. It's interesting in the research world where there's a whole bunch of people like, oh, well, wearing a mask can cause panic and cause all this stuff. But at the same time, wearing a mask during a pandemic is relatively reasonable. And it can cause the opposite effect when you tell people not to wear one. So everybody wanted. Even within this video, I have touched my face a lot. I have touched my face. I've coughed. Right. I know I'm inside my home, and now I'm gonna have to disinfect everything. I have to disinfect this teacup that I got. I have to disinfect my computer. I gotta disinfect my mic, my table. Right, just to make sure. It's a good thing. But in regards to you, if you feel like wearing a mask is important to you, who cares what those other people are saying? Watch out for your own health. I know that's hard because of that social stigma, you know. At the end of the day, a lot of people say we don't care, but usually, to a degree, there's a tiny bit of us, for some people, a lot of bit of us, that care about what other people say to us. So do the best that you can. Do what you feel is best for you. You're allowed to have that confidence in this life, okay? You're allowed to do things that you feel are a benefit to you. KPOS94. I'm doing pretty good. Working as best as I can, being a nurse. I understand totally how it is where you are. Hopefully we can get back to where we were before this all started. Wishing you safe passage through this epidemic. KPOS94, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being a nurse and helping the people in this world, whether you're an RN or an LPN or... thank you so much. Thank you for what you are doing. Nurses are completely underestimated and underappreciated in society. Nurses, the last to my knowledge, they were the most likely to be assaulted by patients. People do nothing but... I feel like more often than not, families are more likely to complain at nurses than what they are to thank them for the basic care that they provide. It's not basic care, but... for some patients, they only need basic care when they're in my facility. And when nurses provide that, they don't get the thanks. It's just expected. But if they're behind on a medication for 30 minutes, or if they can't get to a call light in 5 seconds, and the family is there to yell at them. And it's important that nurses take care of their patients, and it's important that patients' families advocate for their patients. But it's also important that we appreciate our nurses. A lot of them are overworked. A lot of them, there was one nurse that was reprimanded because they didn't, we talked about this, they didn't want to care for a COVID-19 patient without proper protective equipment. That has nothing to do with the oath. That has nothing to do with their ability to take care of people. In emergency medicine, again, we teach you, if you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anyone else. As an example, if you're a car and it's raining, you're not a car. But if you're in a car and the car hits a telephone pole, and the telephone pole, all of the wires disconnect, and it's raining outside, and you're stuck inside your car, the EMTs are not going to go to you. Because if there's water on the ground and there's open electrical wires on the ground, and they go and try to rescue you and they get themselves killed or injured, and then it puts more medical professionals at risk, especially when you work with these people and they care about you, and they're more likely to save someone that they love or care about than a stranger, I guess. There's that emotional component. So you get taught. If you harm yourself, you can harm others. Now, sometimes you'll harm yourself on accident while doing the best that you can. That's fine. But it's important that you take care of yourself to your best of your ability. If you willingly harm yourself by doing something destructive, it's unforgivable because you're putting other people's lives in danger. So nurses are completely underappreciated. Thank you for everything that you do, K-Pulse. I mean that. Unawolf Gamer, hi. We'll keep it simple. Hi. Azura, I don't know. I'm trying my best. It's hard to when I'm not in the best home situation, but I'm making the best of it. Good for you, Azura. But I wish you the best. And just know that one day you'll have full control of that home situation, or a lot more control than what you probably do now. So just like you said, do the best that you can to make the best of it. Good luck to you. I appreciate you. Jeffrey, take care too, brother. Hey, you too. Thank you. You take care of yourself. Michael Kotet. My parents been fighting a lot, but I'm staying home with my siblings, but my mom has to go to work to get paid. But thank you for asking. I really hope you're doing great. I know it's hard. I'm doing great. And it's hard for everybody. It's not just hard for me. What you're going through is just as difficult as what I'm going through. All right? It's not a comparison. What's difficult for you, it doesn't need to be measured by what's difficult for me. To you, it's difficult. That's all that matters. All right? I know your parents are probably fighting a lot. Right now, there's a lot of families who are going through a lot of stress. There's financial concerns, there's spiritual concerns, there's emotional concerns, there's physical concerns. It's a very stressful time. And being in a relationship can be a very difficult thing for a lot of people. A lot of dynamics there are very complex. Easy for us to judge on the outside, but to deal with it on the inside is much more complex. So I just, I hope that you're rooting for your parents. Just know that they're stressed. They're going through a lot of shit right now. And I'm rooting for you as well, Michael. I wish you the best of luck, all right? Much love to you. Ice the Third. Hi, I'm good. Ice the Third. Hey, I don't know Ice the First. I don't know Ice the Second. But you're Ice the Third. Out of all of the Ices, I'm going to say right now you're my favorite. I may be a little biased. Thank you for commenting, Ice. Skilly Skittles. I like that name. Doing all right. Trying to take this time to go back to writing and playing more IDV again. I hope you're staying safe, and so is Dari. Dari is managing. Dari's going through a lot of stress right now, but she's managing. I'm very, very proud of my girlfriend. Very proud. She has had a lot on her plate, you know, and that's not easy to deal with, but at the end of the day, I always get my I love yous, and you know, I'm like a dog that needs to be pet. You know, you do what you got to deal with, and I'll be here if you need me, but I still want to be pet every day, and she does a great job at that. I just compared myself to a dog. And no matter how rough things get with Dari, in regards to her own life, not between her and I, we have a great relationship. She always finds a way to make sure she asks me how I'm doing. Dari goes through a lot right now in Mauritius, and she's been able to stay strong, so I'm so unbelievably fucking proud of Dari. In regards to you, though, all right, I'm very excited that you're taking this time to pursue a leisure. We call that leisure pursuit. It's something that a lot of people, it's a great skill where you have all this time on your hands, and of course you can't go out in the public as much and stuff, so that may prevent some leisure exploration. But something that I would challenge a lot of the viewers right now is to make a list of things that you have always been interested in doing, at least inside your home, right? Make it realistic. Don't say you want to go and play with hippos or something. Hungry Hippo is always a great game, though. You should look into that. But look at those leisure pursuits and start exploring them. This is such a great opportunity for that. Now, I know that's not feasible for everybody, so you shouldn't feel compelled to do it, where if you don't, you feel misery. But it's a great opportunity for leisure pursuit. Explore those options. So I'm glad that you're exploring them. Thank you for commenting, Skilly. Rontios, I'm fine. Waiting for another identity video, though. Yeah, the videos will come out there. I'm going to start doing what makes me happy right now. And I think you guys know how I feel about Identity 5. Unfortunately, the development team has abandoned the Northern American server, in my opinion. And we're just a cash cow system. And me giving into that is enabling that behavior. And at the end of the day, I have limited the growth on my YouTube based on my ethical principles and my moral stances. I don't agree with how NetEase has treated our server as a back burner. They've invested no money in additional servers. They didn't even give us a regional tournament before the coronavirus. That's unforgivable. I'd rather stick with my principles than feed into it by enabling them to continue treating us like trash. I haven't given up on Identity 5, though. I'll still play it based on the fans and stuff, but thank you for commenting. Prince Lunier, I'm doing great so far. I hope you're doing good as well. Thank you, Prince. I appreciate that. Thank you for worrying about me as well. Continue doing good. Monica, I'm okay. Whole family at home is chaotic as fuck with 10 siblings, but it's okay. We are okay. How are you? How is everyone else? I'm just laughing. 10 siblings. That's crazy. 10 siblings. I think I had, growing up, I had Oh God, I can't even remember this, how old I'm getting. So my main family, we had 7 in total. And that was chaotic, so I can only imagine what 10. I actually laugh because I'm like, 10 siblings. My God, you guys have like a factory in there. You could literally start a new factory with 10 siblings. I hope you're doing okay, Monica. I'm glad that you and your family are doing well. And I hope that you continue doing well. And thank you for asking how everyone else is doing. That's very nice of you. I hope everyone's doing well. Rotary phone. Physically, yes. Mentally, not at all. In 2018, I went blind in my left eye, and in a panic, my mother locked me in my room, and I had no human interaction for 3 months. It absolutely destroyed my mental and emotional health. All this outbreak is doing is reminding me of that, and it's hard to stay out of the headspace I had back then. I can't go near my father since he's at risk, and I don't want to risk being asymptomatic and killing him, so I have to spend my days alone, and I hate it. Rotary, that trauma is definitely a real thing, right? That trauma of being locked in a room and being away from social interaction for 3 months. I think the big thing that you can do to help try to remind yourself, something for me to suggest, I don't know if you do this, but compare and contrast the things that you were able to do then versus now, and see and try to identify, try to relate to the differences and the reasoning for it. But that trauma is still going to be there. That's a very real thing that you're going through, right? And especially if you have reoccurring thoughts. The real question is do you relive those moments, or do they just kind of bring negative feelings? That's actually a very distinct difference. You know, are you in a, you know, you're actually reliving the moment as if you were in that moment, or is it only bringing back the negative emotions that were associated with that moment? It's the difference between you being able to discern then and now. And that would be a clinical distinction that would be important for me to know. However, I don't have that luxury. I want you to know that I'm rooting for you. Rotary phone, what you're going through is going to be very hard and very difficult. And I hope that you can identify things, and I'm sure you've already tried it. So maybe I'm doing that thing that I told people not to do. But I hope that you can identify things that can help you discern the differences between the two. And definitely try to find things that will make you happy right now. But what you're feeling is very valid in the sense of what you went through once was a real thing. And I hope you know that you have the power, you really do, you have the power to be able to overcome this. And that doesn't mean that you need to do it alone. And so I hope that you've reached out and you've spoken with your family and you guys have considered your options, and maybe even consider speaking with your family physician and letting them know what you're going through, because you're important. That is important to you. I don't know if it's feasible. This is what sucks about talking about this stuff online, because I can't ask you what you've already done. And you could easily be like, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. It doesn't work. Can't do that, can't do that. So it can be a very frustrating experience. But know that I'm shooting at the hip here. I only get to see your one comment that's like 3 sentences long. But I hope that you make a list. And I hope that you make a list of things that you can do in regards to this situation to help sort of remediate some of those negative feelings with things that you have gone through in the past. All right? It's not atypical for a traumatic experience in the past to start causing emotions in the present. Okay? So you should know that. So make a list of things that you can potentially do with it. Maybe even talk to your family if you feel comfortable about that list. If you don't, it's a different story. And I hope that you try to do the best that you can to manage, okay? But I can't fix that issue, and I'm very sorry. I hope that you have access to a doctor so you can speak with them as well, because they'll help you problem solve a little bit. But just know I'm rooting for you. Do the best that you can, okay? And you're significant. You are a very significant person. So significantly, do the best that you can. Pancake and waffle. I'm good. Hope you and your loved ones are doing great. We're doing well. I feel it's kind of like a weird thing where my mom and dad used to always tell me, don't party too hard, don't drink and drive, don't do this, don't do that. And now, 10 years later, I'm like telling my mom and dad, like, no, you can't go out and do that. No, my brother can buy your groceries. No, you two stay in the house. Weird how that changes in life, right? Thank you, Pancake and Waffle. Thank you for your concern. Cyanide. I'd say I'm good, but my family isn't fun either. I'd get scolded for relaxing, but hey, at least I'm not dead yet. I still have food to eat, and I'm grateful for that. I hope you're doing well too, Mr. Perswayable. Hi, Cyanide. I am doing very well. Thank you for asking. Yeah, you know, that's always such a strong dynamic with the family. Within my own family, as much as I love them and care for them, when I live with my mom, and my dad, both of them, I guess, to a degree, we are just not compatible. I've lived with them for way too long. Our relationship is a lot healthier when we don't have to live together. And that's just how it works, right? Going back to what I said, a lot of experts say you should live with somebody before you marry them, right? And it can be complex with family. You know, you got to live with them too. You know, just living with somebody full time, regardless of whether they're family or a friend, can be very complex, especially family. So keep doing the best that you can. I'm sorry that you're being scolded for relaxing. Maybe there's a way that you and your family can talk about what they constitute as relaxing and not, and what you constitute as relaxing or not. But I hope that you hang in there. Hope that it's not affecting you too much. Juliet Hernandez. Yeah, I am doing pretty good. It's just my sleep schedule is out of control right now. Sometimes I oversleep, or sometimes I sleep in the middle of the day. But other than that, my family and I are good, and I hope you're doing well. Yeah, the sleep routine we've spoken about before, but the sleep routine is so important. It really is. People underestimate how important sleep actually is. And one of the things that I do is if I feel compelled to take a nap, I actually set a 20-minute timer. Now, when you wake up, you're going to be really mad. Sometimes. But you don't want to take naps too long, because it can compromise that sleep schedule that you're used to. And if you mess up your sleep schedule, you're going to mess up your whole ADL routine. You're going to mess up everything. You're going to be tired. You're going to be fatigued. It also depends on what you're eating too. So, you know, my question to you, because we don't want to give advice if we're not actually problem solving here and figuring out what you've already done. What I would do is I would say, okay, what used to be my routine and what is my routine now? What are the things that I have tried to do to get myself into that schedule? And what have I not done? It's important for you to identify the differences between your schedule, but like from an objective standpoint to the best of your ability, not just being like, well, I used to go to school, I used to go to work, like things like that. Like talk, like identify, like what would you do at work? What would you do at school? Like, what time did you wake up? What time did you go to sleep? When would you get back home? When would you eat dinner? When would you eat lunch? And try to replicate that schedule to the best of your ability. You know, even if you're not hungry, try to eat a little something so you can get back into the actual physical action of replicating that routine and that schedule. And that's even if any of this hits home. That's even if I'm even remotely close to it. But it does sound like your schedule is very off based on you saying that you sleep sometimes in the middle of the day. But I'm glad that you and your family are good, and I'm glad that you're thinking, or rather wishing that I'm doing well. I'm doing well as well. But right now it seems like your schedule and your routine and your habits, and this could be an assumption of mine. So if I'm off, I do apologize, but it seems like they're off. So identify that. Identify what were your routines and your habits and your tendencies. What did you do? And what was that stability in your life that you had? And how can you replicate that to the best of your ability in your home environment? You have that power. You have that ability. Thank you so much, Juliet. I always see you. I appreciate you. The odd one. Doing great. Just can't breathe properly since a few weeks ago. Yeah, the odd one. I'm very sorry that you're having some respiratory issues or so, as what you have said, and I hope that you have reached out to your doctor and maybe you guys can problem solve what's going on. Continue doing well, continue taking care of yourself, and remember that any medical issues that you have, you deserve that attention and time, okay? Devin Tan, I am okay. You know, okay is better than bad. So if you're okay, try to identify those things that maybe could elevate that. But if you're okay and you're okay with being okay, Kind of confusing. Then I'm okay with that too. Even more confusing. Just use the word okay again. Devin, thank you so much for responding. Just know that I'm a little bit happier knowing that you're responding to me. I appreciate that. Fran, hey, doing all right. That's all right. Get it? Because you said all right. That's good. It means you're managing it. I'm rooting for you, Fran. Keep doing a good job. What's going on, guys? That is the end of episode 3. I'm super tired editing this. Not gonna lie, I'm exhausted. Y'all have a good day. Thank you very much. If anyone's even watching this, thank you. Love you. Bye.